Hola Lincoln, we are back again. For those that are watching, this is a series on how to develop your website. And if you're watching it on YouTube, just go ahead and check the entire playlist. I will leave a link in the description below. You can subscribe. This is to help you start making sustainable, legit income online. This is the purpose of this video series. And this is the second lesson. We've made progress, right? So in this session, we are going to talk about how the web works. You understand? How does the internet work? What does all these web terminologies and everything that you'll be hearing? Because as time goes on, you will see me throwing certain terminologies like domain name, web hosting, SSL, and other. So you need to understand what I am talking about in this session. So in this session, you will learn these things and how they all interconnect. So the first thing you need to know about websites or building websites or having websites is domain name. Now, what is a domain name? You understand? Does anybody here know what a domain name is? I mean, every one of you know .something.com. You understand? So that is a domain name. It's the URL. It's the address of the website. It tells you what is the name of this website and where is this website located. Actually, those names that you have, maybe www.olalincoln.com, for example, it's actually an IP. So it's a number 196 point something point. You understand? And you have all these numbers there. So there used to be IPv4 before. That's 16 bits, but they realized that we have, with the rate at which names are coming, like within certain I don't know the math right now, but I knew that we had IPv6, which is like every name, there is no amount of the names will be coming. But I know that if the case gets to a point where they are exhausting most of the domain, we'll go to IPv8 or maybe IPv12 or something. You understand? So it shows the number of names. So one thing you need to know about domain name is that it tells you where the address of a particular website is. What is the name of this website? So it's how you locate a website. It is the URL. Think of it as your home address. Number 4 Vladimir Bashvili, number 17 Folagoro Street, Shomolu, Lagos. You understand? That is how web domain names are. So you need to buy domain name, and it is the cheapest, but it is the most important thing, because once someone already has your name, you can't buy that name again unless that person transfers it to you. You understand? Now there is web hosting. Hosting is the physical location of where the website is. Where is the website? So when you hear web hosting, host company, how does this connect? Now you can buy your domain name from anywhere. So think of your domain name as like coming from a government authority. So you have domain registrars that assign this domain name. So you bought your domain name. You may not even buy your hosting from the same person, and it's something I even always advise, that you don't buy your domain name with the same company, because that company may misbehave. So you want to keep your domain name independent. I will show you in the practical classes how you connect these two stuff together. So web hosting is actually where that website is sitting. Now a web hosting is just a big server. You understand? A huge server somewhere, like maybe in San Francisco, or maybe in London, or even here in Tbilisi, maybe with Kakakos Online and all the rest of them. Now that is always connected to the internet, that is up 99.99% of the time. So these are systems that are never shut down. So think of like a server may be bigger than I'm even talking about this building, like the entire building. In fact, some servers are bigger than the entire vacuum, like the way they layer, like all this Amazon cloud and everything. You understand? So it's telling you now, when someone types www.something on their web browser, it's the ISP. Now ISP is Internet Service Provider. The ISP, Kakakos Online, maybe it's SilkNet. Your domain name, your website, your browser will contact Kakakos Online, your ISP. It may be Glow, it may be SpectraNet or Smile if you're watching from Nigeria, you understand? We connect to them. Now, your ISP will try to look for where this address is. Who is hosting this? Now, it's connected to the internet. The internet is like a giant cable. You understand? Some of us think about the internet like a big cloud in the sky like that. Well, in those days of communication, they use satellite and everything. But let me tell you the truth, we still use good old-fashioned submarine fiber optic. That's what connects the world. So if you go on under the Atlantic Ocean, you will see a lot of cables crisscrossing. Like, there are cables coming. Like, I knew that for a long time, Nigeria's entire internet was relying on Glow Submarine 1. You understand? And I think it comes from Greenwich, London or something. And there is another one that I know came from Portugal to Nigeria. That's how we are connecting. And that one will connect to the US. And these lines connect different part of the world, unless you are in China or North Korea, where their internet is regulated to a point. Anywhere you are in the world where you can have this access. Now, it can be beamed through satellite also. So this wires will connect to this thing. You remember that year that a woman that was looking for scrap metal down there in is it Georgia or something, cut the entire internet off to the country of Armenia. You understand? Now that's how the internet works. These cables are reliant. Now your server where your website is staying on is always connected to this internet. You understand? So whenever someone from their computer wants to visit your website, what they are doing is they are going through all these loopholes. There are routers, there are switches, there are all these things, and they are big. So don't worry yourself about these things. You don't need to know the intricacies of how they operate or anything or to know how they work. So you just need to know that this is how it actually operates. So you need, for any website that you have, you need a domain name and you need it to host it somewhere. Just know that one for a fact. I mean, I built like 2-3 websites before I even know how the internet itself really works in the behind the scene and all the rest of them. But there is no problem. It's just like light. Most of us don't understand Faraday or anything law, but what we want to know is that we switch it on and it switches on. That's one thing. So two things you need to know. Web hosting, which is very, very important. It will determine the speed and the rate at which your server loads, your website loads. So if you see a website that is having slow response, maybe there is too much traffic, the bandwidth cannot handle it. So there are most of this thing that you are having, maybe from Bluehost and all that, maybe they can undo 100,000 visits per time. If it gets beyond that, they will shut down. You understand? That's when you hear website crash. So when they are attacking website, they call something DDOS attack, denial of service attack. It means a server that is designed to undo a traffic of maybe 10,000 users per time. All of a sudden, there is 500,000 users requesting for this page. So the real user themselves will not be able to access it. That's what the DDoS. So you can deny someone's service. And up till now, we in the cyber world have not figured out how to stop that attack. Every website is still vulnerable to it. It's just that you stop this thing before they happen. So any website they can take down. Remember that time that 25% of the entire website internet was shut down because there was, including Twitter, it went down. So that's how important servers are. So you don't want to pick a crazy host company. You want to pick a host company that is very, very good. Now, what is the website? What are websites built with? What is the code? Some of you are here to learn coding as well. You don't just want to know about this terminology. So if you are interested, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. You know, I remember the day I taught my son, my nephew, I'm saying son, my nephew is also like a son to me, how to develop a website. And he's like, I taught him HTML, and he's like, Uncle, I know how to, I'm a programmer now. I said, no, wait yet, you are not yet a programmer. HTML is not a programming language. It's just a markup language. It means it tells what are the elements that are on this page, what are their attributes and everything. So when anything you see, maybe the title, the heading, the picture, every of these elements that make up the website, they are HTML and they are always in tags. You understand? You will get to see more of these things when we get to the practical side, and I will also leave a link in the description below to places where you can go and learn HTML, CSS. Code Academy is a very good place. Free Code Camp is a very good place. HTML, the next thing is CSS. CSS determines how all the colors, all the appearance of the website, how it appears, what stays where, how much margin is between something. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. So that's how you style it. That's how you put style, you put feeling into it. Think of the HTML as the skeleton of the body. It's the main framework. Now, CSS is the flesh that covers it. So the dress that you put on, the color, the font, maybe it's unique on how responsive it is. This is all CSS. Now there is another one that is JavaScript. JavaScript takes care of things like animation. Maybe you click on a button and it clicks. You understand? You point, okay, CSS says this button is here. HTML says it's a button. So CSS says it has to be this big, it has to be this small, but JavaScript is going to say when you push this button, it should push in, it should come out. All this effect that you are seeing, any website that you go there and you find it very fine and exact, it's JavaScript that is actually working on the wood. And we'll talk more about this in the next session, where we'll talk about what programming language you should learn first if you are really going into programming, if you're going to be really coding and you're part of this class. You understand? So JavaScript is very, very important. So these three, anybody that tells you any other thing, they are lying. There is no getting away out of it. If you are learning how to develop websites, you must know them. Now, you don't have to build every website with it, but knowing how these things work is very, very important. So HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, that's how every website that is on the client side. Now notice I say front end. Front end is the part that you see, the part that is rendered on your browser. So everything that is rendered on your browser. Now, if you go to a website, there are static websites, there are dynamic websites. Dynamic websites have back ends. Every website, most websites have back end. The part that happens on the server, the part that you don't see. So maybe you are typing your name in. You understand? That's back end stuff. So what takes your name? Things like comment. How many people have liked this page? You understand? Like, how many people are your users? How many people are your friends? What are their information? What are their pictures? So the web browser actually have to go back to the server side, to the back end. You understand? So when you are using when you are visiting a website, and at that point, we don't just call it website again. When in our area, those of us that are developers, now the website has become a web app. It's actually an application. So maybe you are creating something, filling a form, you are interacting. Any website you are interacting with, the part that you see on the browser is the front end, client side. It means the same thing. Now the back end is the part that you don't see. What brings your name up? You understand? When you feel something, when you text someone some message and it goes somewhere, what is causing this to happen? You understand? That is all that is happening in the server side, and that's where the big bulk of the work is actually happening. So if you are going to be a pro developer, it's server side. Now let me talk to you about content management systems. Now, when I say content management system, I always say power to the people. So it allows anybody to be able to develop websites, to be able to maintain a website, to be able to manage websites. It was with content management system that I was able to do those tricks that I did with those people in Ibadan. They didn't really know, they are not web developers. They just learned how to use some content management system. So it was like magic for their pastors and all the rest of them. I was looking at them like, wow, all these people, they know this. Oh, wow, all of a sudden they know. But when you use CMS, content management system, it helps you to align your content very well, to show your content, to how you distribute your content in a way that is good for people to see. Now, there are different content management systems. Now, a lot of times, it depends on which one you are familiar with or which one you use. Some are very heavy, some have their own, and I'm going to tell you the best one, the one I will advise for most people. So you have Squarespace, you have Wix, you have WordPress. which is the biggest and the most famous content management system out there. You understand? So like Squarespace and all the rest of them, they have their own downside. Now there is Drupal, there is Joomla, there is Magneto. You understand? There are even CMS that are built on PHP like Laravel. No, let me misfire here. The names are actually, there is a ton of them. And some of them are coming up. So in terms of popularity, WordPress, why will you use content management system? If you have full understanding of everything, you don't need to go and touch the code in order to put a blog post up. No. So every time you are putting new content, and this is very, very good for churches and pastors because they want certain control over their same, but they are not, most of them, they are not always technical. So you want to build something that maybe it's a website that too many people are working on. So say like university website, different people have to upload a lot of things. They have to put up a lot of. You need a content management system that can delegate different things. So you have people editor, you have contributors, you have all these things. So you manage different content. Most blogs are CMS. Virtually every website that is out there is running some type of CMS. Do you understand? Under the hood. Now 25% of them are running on WordPress. So 50% of every website that is coming up is WordPress. Every new website. The one that are existing, 25% of the entire World Wide Web is running on WordPress. Now we will go into a special WordPress as we are going into the practical. When we get to the practical session, where we talk about WordPress, because there is a lot of confusion. There are people that are WordPress.com, WordPress.org, and all this, and the confusion I think is from the WordPress organization itself. The guys that are developing it, they didn't make this clear, so it can be a little bit confusing for beginners. So there are different types of jobs. Like you may hear designer, developer. What is the difference? Designer is just someone that sketch out everything, makes all these things clear. The developer is the people that really write the real code. You understand? They do the back-end stuff. So you may hear something like a front-end developer. That means someone like me. That's my own suit. I'm a front-end developer because I want to stay very close to the user. You understand? So it means, what does that mean? It means I'm very, very versatile in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I know a couple of JavaScript framework like Angular. I know Ionic framework. You understand? On the other side, my strong suit is not PHP and MySQL. You understand? Those are server side. So you need a back-end developer for that. Now there are full stack developers, people that can do all of this job. You understand? So a designer might probably use tools like Photoshop and all the rest of them. Maybe you are even Photoshop, Illustrator, and everything. Maybe all the logo side is the one that will determine. Now there is a third category of this, and this is one that I'm taking lessons on, that I'm learning right now. It's UX, user experience, UX UI. So where should this button be? What color? How would the users respond to a certain color? Do we want a calming effect with this website and all of that? So all of these things we are going to be throwing up some of these names as time goes on. But I hope with this lesson you've been able to understand the basics of website, how the internet works. Don't worry, everything we've talked about, we are going to be practicalizing it so that you guys will see. Thank you very much for those that are watching. Do you have any questions? Any question? Not in this section. All right. For those that are watching, don't forget to subscribe and check the links in the description below. I'll be leaving links to the videos that we are doing. Maybe all this Code Academy where you can go and learn and put in further instructions, as well as other links to other videos that may help you as well. So don't forget to like this video, because it's a good thing to do. Just help the ministry and share with your friends, and make sure that you're not selfish with this new knowledge. Don't worry, there is enough space for everybody to make money online. So don't be selfish with it. Share with your friend. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.